Good afternoon, everybody. Please excuse the beanie hat. I've just come in from out in the snow, having snowballs thrown at me by my kids, whose school was cancelled today, as the whole country has pretty much been cancelled, hasn't it? Anyway, wasn't intending on doing a video, but I've received a clip from Peter, Belfast Hammers, and it's about really the struggle that they've encountered because of the rearranged fixture congestion. We're not doing a cup of tea this week, so I thought I'd jump on and have a few words about it as well, because I'm pretty disgusted by the whole thing, really. It's, for those of you that don't know, I'll go into details in a second. All the April fixtures have been rescheduled, so that provides huge logistic nightmares for people. The further afield people travelling, the more they have to plan, be it hotels, trains, buses, planes in a lot of people's cases. So this is quite an important subject, and it is increasingly happening more, and I just think it almost reaches tipping point when it happens to the whole month. But it's not just people that live far afield. I've not been able to attend many evening games this season because I don't get home until 1:30 in the morning when I go to an evening game. I live in Berkshire, and they've had platform works at Waterloo, but everyone's got their own story. It's just not feasible. You know, I've got 4 kids. You can't get home and then deal with them and get them up and get them to school and stuff like that. So at some point you have to start picking and choosing. The reason I think it's very important to West Ham fans is so many of West Ham fans have moved out of the area. It's not like Newcastle, for instance, which is, you know, it's a one club city. If it was moved to whatever, a Monday night, as you'll hear a couple of these fixtures have been, whilst it's probably quite inconvenient, it's not the end of the world. I looked at a chart on where all different fans come from, and I'd use Newcastle as an example because the majority of them do come from Newcastle. It's sort of like the polar opposite to Manchester United, who, as we know, typically they are rumoured to come in, a lot of bus them in from the south, so to speak. West Ham, a lot of us are like me. As I said, I used to live 20 minutes from the ground up until I was about 13. Live in Berkshire now. I know so many people who have moved to Essex, moved to Kent, Hertfordshire, Surrey, that sort of thing. So, the demographic around the stadium, well, both stadiums, has changed hugely over the last 40 years. There's no point in denying it. So many of our fans have to train it in, bus it in. So when these fixture rescheduling things happen, it just has a huge impact on everyone, and I think it's got a little bit out of hand. Peter's video is going to run in a minute, and I'll let him explain it. And to be fair, I think he's quite calm about it, considering all the upheaval he's had to go through, and he actually goes on to speak about other subjects as well. But it's ridiculous. I'm going to take you through it anyway. Gio messaged it to me the other night, and well, he didn't have to say anything, because I know it's going to hugely impact him. So his particular story, you've just heard mine. B lives up in Aberdeen. He's going to have to take a holiday day or something like that. If he can come down at the weekend, it's different. Okay, he can leave on a Friday night. Saturday game, he gets down. He can leave after the game and he gets back for Sunday. It doesn't affect his working week, which is a major thing. Anyway, here's what he sent me. All 4 of West Ham United's Premier League fixtures in April have new dates after being selected for live TV broadcast. The Hammers game away at Chelsea will now be shown on Sky Sports on Sunday the 8th of April with a 4:30 PM kickoff. I mean, that's a pain, I've got to say. That's a pain. Sunday, by the time it finishes, it's not like a Saturday where you can go on the razzle dazzle or go out and socialise with your mates. You've got work the next day. Well, most of us do. So that's sort of, you go to that one and then you go home, and that's not unexpected though. It's Chelsea. Chelsea are a big club. They're also in the Champions League. So stuff like that you expect to get moved. The next one, let's listen to this. Next up is the home match against Stoke City, which has been moved to 8 PM kickoff on Monday the 16th of April. Again, boasting live on Sky Sports. Brilliant. Who wants to watch that live on Sky Sports? Who on earth, what neutral is going to tune in to watch Stoke City play West Ham United? I just don't get it. That is taking a vital Saturday 3 PM kickoff away from fans. It's absolutely ridiculous. As I say, you'll hear from Peter in a minute. I can't go to that one. I just can't, for reasons I've already explained. So that one's gone. Next one. The Hammers are in Monday night football action again the following week when they travel to Arsenal on Monday the 23rd of April. Kick-off again is at 8 PM, live on Sky Sports. That's gone. Gotta go to that. I mean, you know, you're starting to weigh up the value of tickets, home season ticket, away season ticket. You're starting to weigh up the value of it here. What have we got here? We got Sky Sports will also broadcast a home clash of Manchester City, now to be played on Sunday the 29th of April at 2:15 p.m. Again, this is subject to change should Manchester United be scheduled to play in the UEFA Champions League the following Tuesday. It's just not good enough. I mean, it is just not good enough. At what point is someone going to stand up to these companies and just say no? Honestly, it's like an endangered species, 3 p.m. Saturday kickoffs, which are always good because that's when you could socialise with your friends and it wouldn't impact your family weekend, it wouldn't impact your working week. Anyway, I don't know. Listen, I'm going to leave it to Peter now to have his say. But I just wanted to say mine. It's just very, very, very disappointing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Over to you, Peter.
Hi guys, Belfast Hammer here. I think you saw on the forum that the games in April have all been moved. This has caused the Belfast Hammers a lot of hassle. As we had hotels booked, we had flights booked, etc, etc. It just shows you the situation where Sky will not even contemplate the plight of the ordinary supporter, and we are going to get this situation where the main thing in football is the television and not people travelling to matches. We ourselves are coming over on the Friday to Romford to the Bobby Moore function. Sorry, not Bobby Moore, Billy Bond, sorry Bobby. And we hope to have a good time there, but we have to sort of make ourselves sort of useful on the Saturday as well. News at the club does not surprise me that Karen Brady and people like that are trying to sort of explain the situation away. The letter from Karen Brady to me sort of doesn't solve anything. It really just is a regurgitation of the spectator experience, and the real trouble with the club is not going to be featured in a letter like that. The owner's attitude towards money, the situation regarding transfers and bringing West Ham to our level, really that's not addressed, in my opinion, in any shape or form. We're suffering over here in Belfast from the beast from the east, so we're not referring to Julian Dix or even James Collins. We're talking to the weather. But some of the players, I think, who I've loved in the last few seasons do need to be moved on. I think Winston Reid seems to have gone. There is no way that he's anywhere near the player that he has been in the past, and I think really, providing we survive the next few months and are still Premier League team, I think there has to be quite a clear out, or at the very least allow people like Declan Rice, possibly Reece Oxford and other young people to come through and give them their say. You can't have it both ways. You can't sort of get in a 35-year-old player like Evra to the detriment of your young players. You're either for a youth policy, or at least you want to integrate a youth policy, or you're not. Evra was an excellent player in his day, but it's highly unlikely that he's got much to offer between now and the rest of the season. He's just a stopgap. So I hope everyone's keeping well. We will be over the weekend of the Stoke game. Unfortunately, we won't see the game itself, so we're hopefully, I just saw on the post, go to Nathan's Pan Mice and things like that, try and have a good sort of West Ham experience. It's prompted me now to get the finger out, and rather than just let that be the end of my season, I am going to come over for the Everton game, which I think is the last game in May, so I've made plans for that. And thankfully I don't think they can change that one with it being the last game. So just a few thoughts, and hope everyone is keeping well. Thank you. Belfast Hammer over and out.
Peter, thank you very much for that, mate. Was one bit that stood out, really, and it wasn't a bit about Winston Reid. It was what you just said about Stoke. You can't now go to the Stoke game because it's been rescheduled, but you're coming over anyway. So reading between the lines, you've already booked your flights, you've booked your hotels, you've probably paid for your tickets, because I know there's a load of you come over, you come down the boat, you're not all season ticket holders, so I bet you've paid 50, 60 quid for your tickets and stuff like that. I bet you've all paid £300-400 each. And you've made the outlay. I'm pretty sure the hotel aren't going to cancel it. I'm pretty sure you can't get your money back on your flight. So you're coming over anyway. And you're such good fans that actually you're going to go to peripheral events, talks, could probably go to the club shop, have a walk around, but you don't get to go to the game because of Sky Sports. That is bad form. That is very, very bad form. It's actually indicative of modern football, and it shows exactly what Sky think of fans that attend the games. I'll tell you something now. They talked about that extra game. What did they call it? The 19th game? Whatever it was. They spoke about the game whereby you would have an additional one each game, where each season, where you go and play one in China, United Arab Emirates or something like that. That'll happen. But I'll tell you something. You get into the point now where, even though the boast has been that the season tickets have been frozen, we have to freeze them, because what sort of value is it? A large chunk of the games just can't be attended now, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked by it all. I'm absolutely gobsmacked, and I'm really glad that you sent that video in, Peter, because someone in a club needs to look at that. Who reimburses you? Who cares? I don't think anybody does. It's not just you. We discussed it. Scandinavian Hammers, West Ham fan groups, supporters associations from all over the world come to these games. And if you've got that story, I'm damn sure that there are others would have been totally inconvenienced by this. And that's one game. What about foreign fans who would plan to come over for all 4 games? It's huge. The impact is absolutely huge. They disgust me. I'll tell you what, not just this, but the last few months, everything else has gone on with them. Sky Sports could not be lower in my estimations, particularly led and fronted up by that Jim White geezer. What a joke. Sorry about that, Peter, mate. I really am, and I'm sorry for every West Ham fan. And do you know what the thing is? When I read that bit of paper, when I read the sheet, that Gio had texted through, which was in essence a press release, they're proud. They're boasting about it, which I find strange. That should be printed as an apology. They should be saying, we're really, really sorry for the inconvenience caused to all these fans, but they just do not care. Joke. Anyway, I'm going. Thanks for watching. Please do send in more of your videos. info@hammerschat.com is the email address. We'll be sorting out a WhatsApp thing soon, so you can just WhatsApp all your opinions over. We've got later on tonight, depending on what time we get this up, we've got a preview ahead of the Swansea game over on the main channel. There's 2 channels. Got to be subscribed to both. Mike on Monday's back on Monday. We got reviews. We got a cup of teas next week. We got something very, very special in the offing from Canning Town Lane. Nigel Khan's going to be doing a mock the West Ham week. There is tons and tons and tons of stuff going on at the moment. We'll keep the videos coming. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the club or Sky Sports can keep the games coming, at least not on schedule. Thanks for watching. See you next time.